Hey everyone, this is Jesse with Game Infinite here, and super excited to bring you episode 6 of State of Gaming. We have two amazing creator guests joining us today. You know Nick as Nico R2. He's been on here a bunch of times. You just saw him in Best of 2023. Amazing fan artist. Glad to have you back, Nick. And then, of course, we have a new guest, Vela. She was actually our best Mass Effect cosplay winner of our recent event. Really excited to have her on, a new guest. These amazing creators are joining us. If you don't know what State of Gaming is, it's a gaming podcast here on Game Infinite. We talk about all things gaming and nerdy content creation and nerdy stuff in general. And I like to rotate in guests as much as possible so y'all don't have to listen to me talk the whole time. I'm really excited to have these guests with us today and to bring State of Gaming back. So episodes 5 and 6 had a little bit of a gap between them. I'm glad we're back. So I'm going to get back to my commitment of one a month to talk about this stuff and talk about gaming with you guys. All right, Vela, as our new guest, I'm going to have you introduce yourself first. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. As you said, my name is Vela. It's my nickname, but I'm Evgenia. And I've been cosplaying for 15 years already. It's really sounds scary, but I still love it. And I love Mass Effect. Yeah, of course. I love BioWare games. I love games, video games at all. And I work in game industry. I make mobile games, and I'm user interface designer.
Okay, all right. Anything
Yeah,
we may have
and
heard of? Anything we know?
oh,
Anything
sorry.
that's out? Is there anything that's out that we may know of that you're allowed to talk about?
Oh, I don't. Maybe next time. Yeah.
Maybe next. Okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Um, yeah, I think that's it for a short introduction.
all right. Thank you for sharing, Nick. I know you've been on the show a couple times. I know people who have been following Game Infinite. Odds are they may know you already, but in case this is their first time, let's tell us a little about yourself.
Well, I'm a freelance artist, an animator. I've been doing a lot of fan arts and illustrations. I just dip my toes into comics, and hopefully that will become something more common. And yeah, pretty excited to be here once again.
Nick was just nominated for Creator of the Year and Best Fan Art of 2023 in our Best of 2023 event. Just to let you all know, the theme of today's episode was meant to be just a little bit of a creator special, bringing some of the creators that participated in our recent Best of 2023 event. Our Best of 2023 event is exactly what it sounds. It's an event focused on highlighting the past year. We have a bunch of top 10 lists. We go over games and games that we really enjoyed, but then also we celebrate cosplay and fan art and content creation in general across Game Infinite and all of our channels. And we do a whole event celebrating that. We nominate various creators in different categories, and we got some nominees here just to kind of talk a little bit about content creation and their amazing work. We're take a little bit longer talking about you guys than we normally do. Normally we dive a little bit quicker into discussion topics, and we'll get to some discussion topics. Considering how we have 3 big Mass Effect fans here, I think we might need to just kind of spontaneously interject a Mass Effect discussion or something. But we'll get to that. Let's first talk a little bit. Vela, as our new guest, we're going to start with you again.
Okay.
Now, in the video, we're going to have some stuff behind us for our viewers, but here now, let's talk a little bit about your Mass Effect cosplay. So you were not only nominated, but you were also voted by the community Best Mass Effect cosplay of 2023. You got nominated for Best Overall Cosplay. That was really cool. Tell us a little bit about, you have like stupid, ridiculous Mass Effect cosplays. They are insane how good they are. It looks literally like Shepard is on the Citadel. Like, tell us a little bit, like, what goes into making your cosplay? What the specific one? I'll show it behind us, but the specific one that we grabbed out of like the dozens you have of your Femme Shepard cosplay. Tell us a little bit, like, what went into making that? How did it become a thing? Like, this obviously resonated with the community to win over a lot of amazing cosplays. Just tell us a little about it.
I made the basic costume, the armor, in 2015 year. And it's already old enough to destroy it. So when I started it, it was my first big project with EVA foam. I didn't even know if it will be okay in final, but actually, it's still one of my most popular cosplays, and people loved it. And I love with all my heart this woman. So all these years, I wanted to repeat the scene from Citadel, from the ending, with all this pain, suffer, with all the blood on the armor and face and hands. But I couldn't find the photographer who will be inspired enough as me to repeat all this, to recreate all these scenes, these backgrounds behind me. And I found him. I was so happy when he said yes, because I'm still very connected with this scene. It's like heartbreaking, and I especially maybe you saw the last shot when it's only one arm. Uh, it was my favorite because it was the shot where we can still hear the sigh, so we can still have a hope that Shepard is alive. And yeah, when we did it last year as a photo shoot, I was really happy because it was my chance to give this costume a good ending, you know, because yeah, it should be already put down in somewhere and be forgotten. But no. After this photo shoot, I think I can visit some cons in this um, bloody, bloody pieces. Yeah, to repeat all this with the auditor, with the audience. Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, I was gonna say the one that you're specifically talking about with just the hand shot. We don't we don't see cosplayers do that shot very often. Like to do to do like that style of scene where you're really not much on display. It's just a hand shot. It's a very different style. Most cosplayers are wanting to get all of themselves in the image, but it was really cool that you took a chance to do something very different and unique to recreate a moment from the games that was so powerful. And the very ending of one of the endings is really cool to just create, focus more on the moment than on like you being in the full image. So that was definitely a really cool one. I honestly, when we were going through all of them, just figuring out which one we're going to do for the actual event, it was really hard because you had so many amazing ones. Tell us, so you have these amazing femsheps on there, too many good ones to choose. Do you have another Mass Effect character coming up that you would like to cosplay in the future?
Uh, I I would rather say no, because I'm not sure when the fourth part, we don't talk about Andromeda, and when the first part is coming. But I've already done Cora Harper from Andromeda.
Cora was really
And
cool too.
thank you. And it was really hard for me. I made it for a year, I think, the whole time. Because all the suits, all the lights, all this stuff, it was a challenge for me. And now I'm looking forward for some new pieces, like who was it in this helmet, in this coat, in the last trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And yeah, I'm excited and I want to do something new, but I think we should wait for a long time.
Nick, let's get to you. Like, let's talk a little bit about Best of 2023. So, for the event, I got my notes here. You were nominated for Best Overall Fan Art 2023 and Creator of the Year 2023. We specifically had a focus on your Miranda fan art, not the one that you did for us, but the one that you did by yourself. That personally is one of my favorite Mirandas. It's just so cool. The pose is so powerful. It just really speaks to the power and the quality of that character. So I wanted to ask you, what inspired you to make this pose for Miranda, this character, this particular fan art? And we'll have it behind us as well. Just tell us a little bit about your inspiration, what made you go for that one, because it obviously resonated with Game Infinite and with our viewers. People love it. It's one of our favorite Mass Effect fan arts that you've done. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it's the same process I always do when I'm doing fan arts, because I always try to do poses that will fit that character's personality. Like, for example, if I'm drawing, I don't know, Wonder Woman, I'm trying to find a pose that will fit Wonder Woman. Like maybe you could find it in a comic book or even a movie, something that actually feels from her, not just any pose. And in the case of Miranda, I happened to replay the trilogy last year again, and I was really inspired. Like I really wanted to draw her again, and I
I mean, real
remember,
fans do at least one annual replay, right?
yeah, and I remembered, I don't remember right now the planet, that very neon planet where you find the assassin in Mass Effect 2. I don't remember. Thane.
Oh,
When you find Thane,
is that Ilium?
I think so. I
I
don't
think
remember.
it's
Sorry,
Ilium.
but
I could be wrong.
I really like the aesthetic of that planet, and I really thought it would fit Miranda with that kind of spy femme fatale appearance she has. So I went for it, and that's how that drawing came to be.
Now, this is by far not the only Miranda Mass Effect fan art you've done. You've done a lot of other Mass Effect fan arts, including a direct commission for us. So you did one for us. We chose to be a little bit more, we're trying to be impartial. We chose the other one rather than just reusing ours. But tell us about, I know we did one where you've actually done a couple Mass Effects fan arts with us. I know we did one where you did with one for Miranda, and you also did one where we had like 3-character setup as well. Do you have a favorite Mass Effect fan art that you've done for you? Like, out of, it doesn't have to be one of ours or the Miranda that we picked. Do you have an overall favorite? Kind of putting you on the spot with that one.
I think the last one I did for Miranda is the one I like the most.
Yeah,
But
it's really good. It's
yeah,
really well done.
I always try to improve. So I think the newest one is the one I like the most because it's the one I feel I've done better. So hopefully next time I do one, it doesn't matter who is from Mass Effect, then that one would be my favorite and so on.
That's awesome. I feel like the question number one is talking a little bit about as we move on to the main discussion section. The question number one really kind of focuses a little bit on Best of 2023 that was just right behind us, that event. So just have in my notes a little bit of a build up, just kind of talk about it a little bit. For those of you watching, if you didn't see the event or this is kind of new to you, Best of 2023, it's designed to celebrate content creators and boost their exposure. That's a big part of it. Is half of the event is focused on top 10 games of the year, anticipated games of upcoming, a few other, like a lot of game specific stuff. And then there's the indie game side. But then we also have the focus on the content creators. We have fan art, we have cosplay. Sometimes we do other categories. We introduced creator of the year. So that was a new one. So Game Infinite and Game Infinite channels, we support cosplay, fan art, streamers, indie devs, and more. We currently have regular daily content, as well as the Indie Game Roundup, Indie Trailer Project, creator interviews, creator roundup, Infinite Summer. We got a lot of stuff going on to support our creator friends. And the main question was, what are some things you would like to see in 2024 to support cosplay and fan art in the coming year? How can Game Infinite better support creators in general and you guys? So this was a question that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I got it into this episode, being that it's a creator special. I thought it'd be a really good one to talk about. Just like we do a lot of things to support creators, but I'm always open to new ideas, new events, new things. How do you guys like to get supported as? So we got representative from fan art, we got representative from cosplay. So like a page like us, that a big part of what we do is supporting creators. What are the things that you like to see? What are the things that you think would be cool if we did? So these are just kind of an open dialogue discussion to talk about that. Nick, we'll start with you this time.
Well, I think something that will really help is sharing. You always share, but I think sharing is a huge part of it. perhaps more collaborations. We have worked together a few times. I think like opening up that a bit more could be interesting. Like for example, I would love to redesign the girl I did for you. I remember I created both two characters, and the one that became like very popular was the girl. So I wouldn't mind going back to that and see what can change or how they are have improved. So a collaboration in that I think would be very interesting. And yeah, I think you're doing a great job sharing content and helping other creators. So yeah, I can come up with anything else.
I know one thing that I want to do more of in this year is the way I've been doing it for like the last 2 years is the channel's job was really to do a lot of the reposting and sharing, whereas a lot more of the original content was going on Game Infinite, and I was really leveraging the channels because like 95% of what the channels put out is like creator support. And there's obviously some original stuff with like when news comes out and like articles and things, but the channels were doing a lot more sharing, and Game Infinite was a lot more original stuff. One thing I wanted to do more this year was kind of spreading that out a little better and using Game Infinite to feature more cosplay and fan art than we did in the past. Because I found the nice thing about the channels is the GI channels are community specific. So we have a dedicated Mass Effect page. So everyone that's following that already likes Mass Effect. So obviously, if we have Mass Effect fan art, we want to get it over there. But I want to use Game Infinite more to open it up to fan arts and cosplay that aren't just one of the live channels that we have. So like for example, we didn't do an Apex Legends category this year because we no longer have an Apex channel and we haven't really featured a lot of Apex content, but it was something we did in the past. So one thing I would like to do is be able to bring more non-channel related fan art and cosplay to the main page, and just do more. You mentioned collaborations. Like there's a lot of ways that can look into. Like I definitely want to do more of like the Instagram collaborations. I want to do more like commissions. We late last year, we launched on GameInfinite.net. We launched the fan art collaboration page, which was specifically highlighting art that we directly commissioned from our creator partners. So like I want to do more of that because it'll be really cool to be able to showcase human art that we're helping to create. So I definitely like the idea of doing more collabs, more features, more shares. That is definitely 112% agree with that. Vela, let's talk about the cosplay side of things. A lot of what we just talked about could apply to cosplay as well. I want to do more cosplay collaborations and features, showcase on Game Infinite and Mass Effect Infinite, but just in general, like as a cosplayer, like what are things that you like to see? How do you like to be supported? What are some things you'd like from other pages to help you showcase your content more?
Actually, I think it's really a great idea what all that you're doing, because it's already really supportive, all that you feature. And I like the idea of these meetings, these interviews with creators, because most of us don't see what's behind, because the creation of art or cosplay, it's a big job that has its ideas, its fails, its alternative ways to put it through. So I wanted to see more interviews with creators where they can tell the story of their creation, because it could be really awkward or painful or joyful maybe, but it's always really close. So yeah, and I would like to participate in it. Yeah, I like it. So that I think that's great to dive deeper.
As I yeah, I 100% agree. I like doing these creator interviews and I like bringing new guests. And the original intent of State of Gaming was to rotate more new guests, try to keep it fresh so it's not the same just me and the same two people every single time. I considered the idea of trying to get 2 or 3 people to be like dedicated regular hosts with me, because it is a lot harder rotating in new people and getting schedules and time zones and stuff, and doing more developer interviews, more creator interviews. I one thing that I've learned is a lot of people are nervous to get in front of the camera. A lot of these creators, they're taking still photography, or they're artists that are behind the camera 100% of the time. So like I wasn't really in front of the camera for a lot of time for years with Game Infinite. I would write articles and I would make the posts and things, but I didn't do this. So like it was a little scary stepping out of my comfort zone and getting in front of the camera. We tried when Game Infinite was its first inception. We experimented a little bit with it, but I didn't really do it for several years. And a lot of times that when we do these collaborations, I can tell some people are hesitant to get in front of the camera to do this, which is one reason why I came up with the article interviews. I had this idea of like, we did these creator, I know Nick, you've done one with us, where we do like article interviews. So like I send them questions, they fill it out, and then I turn it into an article. So that was cool. And I was hoping that might be a good like kind of intermediary way to feature people who may not be in front, may not be hard to get in front of a camera just due to time, or just might be too nervous to do so. And I was saying before we went live, I had like 4 or 5 people invited to this episode, who were just a little nervous, just getting in front of a camera. So it's one of those things where I've learned a lot. Like I'm trying to make sure people feel comfortable as we try to help support them, because not everyone's going to want to get in front of a camera, but there's other ways we could do these creator supports. Yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely am looking forward to this year, how we can best support you guys, do more collaborations. Yeah, I don't think we didn't do a creator interview article with you yet. We should totally do one. That'd be fun. So
Yeah.
that'd be fun. I think that'd be cool. I think people would like to. We haven't done one yet, I don't believe, right? Am I right on thinking that? I don't want to make sure I'm forgetting something. So no, that's good. I'm moving on to question 2. Shameless plug for our friends at Dubby. All right. So let's move on to question number 2. A little bit of a sidestep from content creation. Let's talk about games. We're all excited about games. I know last year, Nick, you were really excited for Final Fantasy 16. I think all 3 of us, yeah. I think all 3 of us are excited for the new Mass Effect that's probably going to come out in 2029.
If it airs, come out.
So far away. All right, so 2024, new year, new games. What are some games in 2024 you guys are looking forward to playing? Are there any special events, showcases, cons that you're looking forward to as well? So it doesn't have to be strictly games. If there's a convention or an event that you're looking forward to, like I always super look forward to Summer Games Fest. That's a big one for me. And locally, Dragon Con is a big one that I'm super excited for. Anyone watching this that's going to Dragon Con, let me know. What about you guys? Whoever wants to go first, tell me what are some games coming up that you're looking forward to?
I think Viola should go first.
I want to ask who is going to answer. Actually, I'm wrong person for this question because I'm so slow. I would rather talk about games from 2023 because right now I'm playing Baldur's Gate still.
Okay.
Everybody ended over here.
There's nothing wrong with having a backlog. Nothing wrong with having a backlog and looking back instead of forward. We could do that too. Like, tell me so Baldur's Gate. All right, so is that your favorite game of last year, or what else?
I think it's definitely the game of the year because the Larians did a great job. For me, the game of the year was Alan Wake 2 because I love the first part and I love Control.
Okay.
And I love Remedy. So yeah, I was waiting for it. And of course, Phantom Liberty for Cyberpunk because only last year I played Cyberpunk, you know. That's why I'm talking that it's not question for me.
That's okay.
Because
It's okay to look back.
I
I mean,
don't
this is
have.
what we're looking back at Celebration as much as we are looking forward. It's kind of this episode was always designed to be kind of like an in-between transitional episode where we're
Yeah.
talking about the best of 23 events. So we can talk about last year, and we were also just kind of looking forward as well. So Baldur's Gate 3 and Alan Wake 2 and Cyberpunk were like, would you say those like your top three for last year?
Yep.
Okay, all right. I can comment on that real quick. I did not try much of any of them. I Alan Wake 2 was one that I wanted to play. I just didn't get to. There were so many good games last year to where I feel like we all could list off 10 and there'd be so much lack of overlap because there's so many good games that I just didn't even get to. It's not that I thought they would be bad, but Alan Wake 2 and Phantom Liberty were ones I didn't get to try, but I do really like Remedy. For me, my favorite from them was I loved Quantum Break. Quantum Break was a fantastic game. I love that game. That one was really good. That was back during the Xbox era when we weren't getting a lot of games. And I'm an Xbox first guy. Like I love Xbox. Like I have my PC, I got my PlayStation. I love Xbox first though. And there was a couple years period where we weren't getting a lot of games. So it was like the one game we got in like the from a first yeah, that was a rough time to be an Xbox fan. It's not like now where they're doing pretty good. So I like Quantum Break. I actually replayed a little bit of last year just for fun. Because I wasn't busy enough trying to play all the other amazing games that came out. But Baldur's Gate, I put in my top 10 list that I just didn't play enough of it to feel like it would be fair to give it a score and therefore rate it for the list. It's definitely a unique game. I've never really played D&D. I'm not a huge turn-based guy, so like it was a little hard for me to get into, but I saw the quality. Like the quality there was top-notch. I understood why so many outlets gave it Game of the Year. Nick, what about you? Let's pause on the main question and continue on the celebration of 2023 as far as top games. Tell me your top three. I bet Final Fantasy 16 was one of them, but tell me what were your top picks for games that you played last year? If you have a top three, if you don't, that's okay. Just tell me your favorites.
Okay, well, first place is Final Fantasy 16. I love that game. Like, my hype was worth it. It's everything I was hoping for. It's not perfect, but I don't need it to be. It's perfect how it is for me. That game was for me. I think the other one I played a lot was Resident Evil 4 Remake. I think that was a great experience. I love the DLC too. So I mean, I love Resident Evil in general, so that remake was really really good. And I can think of a third one. I played so many things last year. It's hard to choose. Maybe the Dead Space remake. Maybe I have Baldur's Gate. I haven't played it yet. Um, yeah, I don't know. I can say for sure. Maybe Zelda too. So many games. But yeah, definitely Final Fantasy 16 has to be my pick.
Trying to pull up my list here so I don't contradict my past self because I gotta remember what my top three were. So I can just quick share some of my top picks from last year. I did a full video and article for those of you watching. You can check out gameinfinite.net /news to see our top 10 article. And then here on YouTube, of course, just a couple videos back, we have our top 10 games of 2023. My top three picks was, I'm going to go with, where's my number? So number three, I'm right there with you, Nick. I had Resident Evil 4. I had never played the original, so Resident Evil 4 was just fantastic. It
You have to
was,
play the original one so you can appreciate even more the remake, man. Come on.
it was fun. It honestly, a lot of times remakes and remasters, you can see the old game behind it. Like you can see like the old design philosophy, the old game mechanics. This I felt like did a really good job of masking that. I didn't feel like I was playing a 20-year-old game that just had prettier graphics. I felt like I was playing a yes, linear but modern game. So they did a really good job. That is a remake in the highest sense. In my opinion, I didn't feel like it. I didn't feel the oldness behind the paint as much as I think doing some others. Number 2 was Spider-Man 2. I loved that game. I rolled credits,
Yeah,
loved
Spider-Man 2.
it.
Spider-Man 2 is great.
Yeah, I rolled credits as
I
quick as I
forgot about
could.
it.
It's it was definitely interesting. It has the Venom sections were a lot of fun. There's a rumor that they're working on a Venom spin-off game. I'm gonna play a lot of that. Spider-Man 2 is my number 1 pick. I put Baldur's Gate with an honorable mention, just with the note that I didn't play enough of it to feel like it'd be fair to rank it. But I speak to its quality. But my number 1 pick was actually an indie game called Viewfinder. That was given our game of the year at Game Infinite. I love that game. It's a indie puzzle portal like. It's really hard to describe how it works, but if you've seen trailers, it's fantastic. So for those of you watching, go back to our other videos. We go a little bit more in depth, but Viewfinder was my favorite. So those are my top 3 picks. What about you, Nick? Do you have any upcoming games in 2024 or beyond? Doesn't have to have a 2024 release date to qualify. Just what's a game coming up that you're amped about?
Well, one is very close. Is this month actually? Is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Oh
I
yeah.
know I say that Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite one. My favorite one is Final Fantasy VI. It always will be. I just replay it again and it's perfect. But I like Final Fantasy VII, and I'm very excited to see what happens with this retelling of Cloud's story. Hopefully, they will fix a few things that I didn't love about the first part, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the 2D situation is awful. I hate that they don't know how to compress their games anymore. I hope that's
You don't want a
something
150
game
gigabyte game?
devs. No, I don't want that.
And I
I
saw
have a
the
PS.
size. I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna have to delete more
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I
Oh
hate that.
man.
So, well, that's a huge problem in gaming in general, not only Final Fantasy. But yeah, I'm excited for Final Fantasy VII, and I don't know. I can say I'm excited for Mass Effect because they either they make something really good or they fuck that up again, and so we'll see what happens.
I just hope
But
BioWare exists long enough to get the game out. Like we got all of
I mean,
Dragon
it's
Age
just
in front of it before they are gonna release this new Mass Effect. So it's like, I want it now. I don't want it 5 years from now. It's hard. It's
just
hard being a Mass Effect fan. Can't
and
EA
the
make?
thing
Don't they have
about
enough money to have multiple developers working on this stuff? Jeez.
the thing about BioWare right now is this is not the BioWare that did the original trilogy. That is gone. That
Yeah.
team is no longer gone. So I can't expect much about it. But I'm actually excited for the new Transformers game. I think it's called Re-Engine or a stupid name like that. I don't know. I know that game is gonna flop so fucking hard. It's gonna be awful, but I play it anyway.
I didn't realize how many Transformers games they had made. There were a lot of them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, those are some good upcoming ones. I'm right there with you. I am super excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. We put it as our most anticipated game. Another one that I'm really excited for, it comes out in April, is Stellar Blade. That one we just got a new
Okay.
trailer and release date on. That one looks fantastic.
The thing about that game, I have two things. One, I hope the combat is good because
Yeah,
that in this type of
it
games,
looks good. Yeah,
if the combat is not good, it can break the whole experience. Like
yeah.
it's awful. But and the other thing I am actually kind of torn off is I love the design of the main protagonist, but she doesn't fit the world. Like she's super clean and pretty and everything, but the world around her is just dirty and broken, so it feels like a bit disconnected one from another. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
weird for
you're
me.
right. We actually got to see a much more deeper look of the world, and I think I wish they would have addressed what you just brought up, because they don't, in the latest trailer you don't really see. I think I think there's an explanation for that, going all the way back to like their old Project Eve trailer. Is in like the very first trailer we see her arrive from space in like a pod, kind of like Yoda descending down onto Dagobah in his little pod. So I think in the story, I think she's from somewhere far away and she's come to Earth. At least that's what it looked like in the very original trailer. But if all you see is like the current one, you're right. She has like this really advanced looking spacesuit combat suit thing, and this world is very Mad Max. So I think they'll explain that, but you're right that she does look like an outsider. And her little crew that we see, they all kind of look a little bit outside. I think it might be because she's from outer space. I don't know, but
Okay, hopefully.
we don't know much about the story. Like this is the
Yeah,
like we
I
just
think
don't know
the
anything. I want to know
story
more.
doesn't really matter because
Yeah.
if the combat is good,
Mhm.
I'm down for it. Like I just want Bayonetta again. I want a successor of Bayonetta outside from the Switch.
I want to play I want to play more. I want to learn more about this game because so far we just know very little of the story. We know the combat looks cool to me. That game I'm really excited for. I hope we get more explanation because I think you bring up a good point. I want to know more of the story though. I think we can glean some stuff from the trailers, but it's just surprising how little we know with it just coming out in a couple months. But that's okay. I want to learn. I want to experience the story. I don't want it spoiled. But I think too many games show too much of the story ahead of time. Like for example, I feel like Spider-Man 2, as great as it was, I think it would have been even better if we didn't know Venom was in it at all. Like the fact that we knew Venom was in it from like the initial announcement. So like if they had kept Venom a secret as like a third act surprise villain and we had just thought it would be Craven the whole time, I think it would have been enhanced the experience. I know why they do that. They want to sell boxes, they want to sell units, and people are going to want to play Venom. I get that, but I think it would have been cooler to experience the Venom story somehow after the fact, instead of beforehand. But what else? There's some other ones coming out. There's a lot of games coming out soon that I'm amped for. I had like in my article, I had like 25 games, and on the video I did there, I had at least like 10. Trying to think of some ones off the top of my head. One that was just announced was the Until Dawn remaster. I'm really excited for that one because I loved Until Dawn.
Already remastered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many years?
I know. It's that game came out in
It feels
2017, I
old.
believe. It's crazy to think.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's older. I know that was a PS4 era. At the time it looked beautiful, but I
remember that game like at the same time as Bloodborne or something like that. So yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. It's due. I would really love, so a lot of those like really hyper cinematic games. So like Beyond Two Souls, and I know these are different developers and stuff, but like Beyond Two Souls and Detroit Become Human are other two top huge favorites of mine that are in that genre. I would love for them all to just get current technology remasters, just because I love that genre, just the hyper cinematic, super photorealistic. Like, imagine what they could do with current technology, like Unreal 5. Like, if they could pull that off 7 years ago with PS3 and PS4 technology, like I just want to see what it could look like today. So I'm excited for that remaster. Yeah, so those are some games coming out. Anyone else? Any other upcoming games that you guys can think of that they really amped for? Or also in that question, I had like cons and events too. So like we could do like real life things too.
I can't think of any.
No. So that's the thing is I had so many games on my lists that it's hard to remember them off the top of my head. But I think we touched on a couple of good ones. Let's talk about projects. How about this? We'll transition to, we'll bring the scale back down to just the three of us here. What are about some projects coming up? So maybe an upcoming cosplay, Vela, or upcoming fan art that you're currently working on, Nick. Anything that you got that's going to be dropping in the next couple months, either of you, that we can look forward to?
Well, since we already spoke about Final Fantasy VII, I am planning to do at least 1 or 2 pieces to help the hype. And as for the other stuff,
hopefully a lot more Tifa, right? Lots of Tifa.
We'll see. I want to do one of Tifa.
I'll be very disappointed if there's no Tifa. I mean, just throwing that out there. I mean, that's like come on, just do a Tifa.
Yeah, I get it.
That's everyone's favorite, by the way. I mean, like, did you see that? So many people were when Tekken was dropping, that so many people were requesting that they put Tifa in the game. That the creator of Tekken or whatever, or whoever, like the director had to respond, or like, not working on that right now, but we'll keep it in mind. It was like super funny. Like they're just
That has
clamoring this random
happened
game
to me.
company, put Tifa in your game.
No, it may happen because I remember Noctis was featured either in Tekken 7 or Soul Calibur, so it could happen. And
Oh yeah, that's right. I
yeah, I
think
don't
you're
know.
right. Noctis was featured in something. I forget what it was.
Yeah, he was invited in some fighting game. I'm not very big on Tekken or Soul Calibur, so I can say for sure. And as for fan arts, mostly depends on my Patreon. They usually chooses what I'm going to draw. So yeah.
That's right. That's right. Definitely. If you guys want to have a say in what Nick draws next, besides just badgering him to give us more Tifa, you can actually check him out on Patreon. He has regular polls that you can put, and you can actually like vote for characters, which is pretty cool. So that's a cool feature. Vela, what about you? You got any upcoming projects dropping in the next days, weeks, months, years that you can tell us about?
Yeah, you know, I'm Casper. I have a huge list. And I do at the same time like tests with
Mhm.
makeup, with haircut, you know, some stuff, and some long waiting costume full with all costume stuff. And um, last week I made a test for Delilah from Dishonored 2, if you remember it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'm in the process of retouching it.
I have to refresh my memory. Dishonored 2 was a while ago. I gotta
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. The main evil bitch of the whole franchise. And I
Okay,
love
all right, all
her,
right.
really. She's very strong and she's stylish in the second part.
That'd be sick.
And I've been thinking about her for 5 years, I think. I made my first test about really 5 years ago, and now I want to refresh it. And yeah, I still love her. But
I'm really surprised we
what
haven't gotten
about?
Dishonored 3 at this point. That's what something I'm surprised about. Like, why isn't that like that franchise was successful? People
I
loved
don't
it.
know.
It
I don't
was
know what
critically
happened to
praised.
Arcane.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
oh, it was Arcane, right? Didn't they just oh yeah, I think they were
yeah,
put onto
yeah.
I think they've just been busy.
Deathloop.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
had
they were
Deathloop,
busy, and I think it's about
Redfall.
the carpa, you know, somebody
Did they do
from
Redfall
above
too?
said. Ref- Oh,
Am I mixing that up? Let me see here.
I think it
Redfall.
was a failure.
Yeah, Redfall.
Yeah.
Arcane. So yeah, the Arcane Studios. Yep. Okay. So yeah, I think they've just been busy because they've had a lot of games come out since then. So um yeah, so they did I think they have a couple studios, so it's not like one location. So they're kind of like how a lot of these developers have like multiple like sub studios. So I know they weren't all made by the same people. So there was Deathloop. Let me check in here. Yep, they're both Arcane, but I think it was different like subsections of Arcane. But yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
then now they're also working on Blade. They're working on Blade. So
Yeah,
I think they're
yeah,
just
I
probably been
heard.
busy, but I would love to see Dishonored 3. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. It's a game from my best list. So yeah, the style, the whole world, the atmosphere, it's brilliant, really.
That's really cool.
So I love even Delilah. I love her. Yeah, and what about the full process? I'm in process of Lucy. You may see the wig on the shelf. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. It could be in a dark, yeah. Um, Cyberpunk, Edge Runners,
Oh, Lucy,
Lucy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think it's coming this year because the percent of yeah, she's at least uh, quarter ready, I think. It's all my job. I do all this stuff slower than I could, but
It's
that's
always interesting to
life.
see which characters resonate within the cosplay and fan art communities. Because like sometimes a character comes along that just takes over and just they become like the anime or the game or whatever they came from was popular, yes, but sometimes they just inspire a particular character that just, I feel like anytime we meet a cosplayer or a fan art, they have at least one rendition of this character. These characters just like spread like wildfire within these communities. And Lucy was one of them, where she's not even like the main character of the game. She was the character from the anime. And it's just really cool to see, like, every now and then you come across one of those characters. There's other characters. I think within Final Fantasy, Tifa, jokes aside, was an example of one of those characters where the amount of cosplayers and fan artists that have a rendition of that character from the Final Fantasy universe. 2B is another one. There's reasons why we picked certain elements for our channels too, is like trying to track these viral patterns a little bit. So Lucy was one of those characters where it just became mega popular, and it's just really cool to see. Not that that's a bad thing, that's a great thing. It's just cool to see when a character becomes just so loved by the community that everyone wants to try a version of that character with themselves. So that I definitely think that'd be pretty cool. I love Cyberpunk, and Edge Runners was a lot of fun, so that'd be a pretty cool character to see pulled off. Well, so I think just to kind of wrap things up, I want to thank you guys for taking time out of your busy day to sit with me and record an episode, talk about content creation, best of 2023, last year and the year upcoming. So I want to thank you again. Nick, it was great as always to have you back. Vela, I hope you had fun. We'd love to have you back in a future episode sometime. For those of you watching, I want you to definitely check out I want to definitely have you check out both of their socials. Go support them if you want amazing fan art. If you want to see some truly next level cosplay, definitely go check out these two amazing creators. They're worth supporting. They're amazing, and hopefully we'll see them again on future episodes. You'll definitely see their content on Game Infinite channels in the future, and we'll see you all guys on the next Game Infinite video.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up!